So I don't know if you all have been informed about this, but Disney stock plunged 10% yesterday, and it's not a good image for Bob Iger. It's most certainly not a good image for the board of directors running the show there at the Walt Disney Company, but it's also beginning to show us a pattern about what the current average is turning out to be for Disney, not just what happened throughout 2023, but what looms for 2024, the remainder of this year, as well as 2025, which is going to be, by the way, full of expensive failures when it comes to their movies. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. So, we know that Bob Iger is the typical liar. That's why I and many others out there like to call him Bob Iger. This man will string along his audience as much as possible. The customers, the stock, right? The shareholders, I should say, that really take part in the stock for Disney, and it's not looking good so far. I mean, there's been a lot of things happening with a lot of people bailing on Disney, really shifting away from investing in the Walt Disney Company, really just trying to distance themselves from all this DEI nonsense, which, by the way, stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion, that's all funded through BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. I could go on and on about them. But focusing on Bob Iger here, there's a lot of things going on right now when he had to actually address the financial status of the Walt Disney Company and how it is damage control in the worst way possible. Let's dive into this, shall we? Now, one thing about Bob Iger is that we know that he is pretty much a flip-flopper, right? At one point he's like, oh, we're all about quieting down the noise, no agenda here. Then he's all about promoting DEI and not mentioning about quieting down the noise, and then he backtracks that again, and then it's just a vicious cycle. However, alright, with Bob Iger endlessly falling into damage control over all the divisions at the Walt Disney Company, one significant development happening right now is Bob Iger's defense over the financial situation at the company after the stock recently fell 10% in the wake of streaming struggles and theme park challenges, and among other reasons. Bob Iger recently delivered the following. Since returning as CEO a couple of years ago, I think that yes, we have met many different challenges over the past couple of years, but I thought it was very important as CEO to encourage our shareholders and customers that we at times were hitting nothing more than a minor speed bump, and we ended up recovering gracefully in that process of changing our business models and the strategies that came along with them. Regardless of the up and down cycle that we have had with our stock over the past number of years, I don't find anything about this recently or that alarming at all. In fact, I see no concern for both the long and short term of things for all of our business models and theme parks. Look, when you focus on, let's say, your streaming platform, in our case Disney+, we have a dedicated team that rightfully monitors engagement statistics on what works and what doesn't, and we are willing to adapt and alter what's available on a business model like that. I think it's very important that I encourage all of our shareholders and customers to not fall for any level of hyperbole or concern of the Walt Disney Company and where it's heading. I think we have a bright number of years ahead of us with the changes that we are applying to Marvel, Star Wars, and other film brands. Guys, let me just pause here quick. Now, he's obviously alluding to how Marvel is now going to focus on no more than 3 movies a year and 2 TV shows a year, with the exception of maybe having 2 movies a year at one point in time. They're basically reducing the flow of how many Marvel projects release a year, and I think that also had a little bit to do with why the stock really took a hit yesterday, because that was the same exact day that he announced this. But moving onwards, he goes on to continue, but I find it to be very irresponsible for a certain margin of our customers to claim or fear that Disney is in danger, and I think that's just outright dishonest. All of our film brands are working perfectly and effectively, and no, we do not run these things by any sort of an agenda. So he's getting back on the agenda case here, guys. Bob Iger is continuing to say that there is no agenda. This is just the biggest sign that he is lying through his teeth and that he does not care at this point. But moving on again. This is the sort of thing I always feel, Bob Iger says, I need to address to set the record straight to as many as possible, but we are not about that at all, and I know it holds no connection to an erratic behavior with our stock that can be very unpredictable at times. There are very big reasons and multiple other factors that we are looking into that's driving the financial status here at the Walt Disney Company, and I am willing to share more about that in the coming months. Everything Disney related is working just fine, and I think the only agenda that we see right now are those that get entertained out of a business struggling for whatever reason. I don't know. I just think so many people don't understand what an agenda means. Our financial situation here has been never better. We are investing into new business models that we will also be excited to announce by the third quarter of this year. The stock behavior has nothing to do with our work ethic, nor does it spell a clear sign of where the Disney Company is heading in, let's say, the next 2 years. I couldn't be more proud about its direction right now with what we are doing, especially in film and the promotion and support for DEI in all things Marvel, Star Wars, and Disney related. People tend to get confused that this is what's causing the up and down cycle of our financial status, and I promise you it holds no connection to that at all. I will be happy to comment on this further after our other planned announcements go public. So again, Bob Iger is falling into probably the worst case of damage control possible for 2024. I mean, we all saw what happened with the stock yesterday, and we all know what it's connected to, let's be honest. But at the same exact time, yes, one part of this is true, there are other factors, but it also is 100% connected to the streaming platform failing, to theme park attendance really not meeting their projections, and it also has a lot to do with that announcement yesterday, without a doubt, about reducing the number of Marvel projects, which, by the way, kind of spells that they are not confident in the Marvel platform anymore, or the Marvel Cinematic Universe by Marvel Studios, that they want to take a step back to figure out what's going on and to kind of figure out exactly how to stabilize that. But at the same exact time, what he said just 2 days ago is that they're going to be doubling down on diversity, equity, and inclusion starting in 2025 for the MCU. So I don't really see, what kind of resolution they're looking for there. So again, I mean, we know that the stock has been an up and down roller coaster, as I would like to say, for 2023, and it's already beginning to start again for 2024. Look, it did go up, let's not lie about this, it did go up for a while, and now it took a big hit, probably one of the biggest hits that we've seen in the last couple of months, and this is going to be a very big scenario when it comes to Bob Iger in the next quarter of 2024, where he's going to be making more announcements about investing into other business models, which, by the way, I think is going to be a complete waste of money. We know that they're also investing more in the theme parks around the globe, which also I think is going to be a waste of money as well. It's only digging a hole further into the ground, let's be real about that. So overall, Bob Iger, once again, really just presenting the worst case possible of damage control, to the point that I think it really is beginning to show that he's in pure panic mode at this point. So I would like to hear what you all have to say about this ongoing stock situation at Disney below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.